Hello friends, Zachary Stockill here from retroactivejealousy.com, and today I'm going to share a few thoughts about rebuilding your relationship in the wake of retroactive jealousy. If you benefit from this video or my work in general, please take a moment to let me know by clicking the like button below and making sure you're subscribed to my channel. Okay, an email came in from, we'll call him A. A writes, I wanted to get your thoughts on a topic not often talked about in the context of retroactive jealousy. It's about what to do when you've already asked a lot of questions about your partner's past and potentially shown your partner that you're insecure. How do we reclaim our confidence in their eyes and heal any damage done? Does asking questions lead to a loss of attraction, and is this permanent? Or does it go away with time/effort/communication? I found my obsessive thoughts have shifted away from her past to the way she perceives me now, and it's causing me a lot of anxiety and regret. What's the best approach in your opinion? There's a lot to dig into with A's questions. I'm going to try to approach them one by one. How do we reclaim our confidence in their eyes and heal any damage done? So you can't always. And that's a tough one to swallow. It's probably not fun to hear, but it's true. I feel a real responsibility when people like you ask me a question to give you my honest reflections on it. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. And the fact is that retroactive jealousy can and occasionally does destroy relationships, destroy attraction. Sometimes you can rebuild that, depending on the damage that your retroactive jealousy, your insecurity, etc., has done to the relationship, has done to your partner's attraction toward you, but sometimes you can't. And that's one of the many reasons why I still am so interested in doing this work and why I create videos like this and really try to inspire people because, I often say, but it's true, I have the emails to prove it. Retroactive jealousy can and often does destroy relationships. Sometimes it just takes longer. But the most important thing is to realize that as soon as possible so you don't make some of the mistakes that it sounds like A has made. That said, of course, all is not necessarily lost. There's an idea in tantric philosophy which I really like. And the idea is basically, if you fall in love deeply with someone once in this lifetime, you can return to that state. It's not a guarantee, but you at least have the potential. If you've fallen in love with one person once, you can get back there. Now the question is, how do we get back there? How to reignite the fire, so to speak. How do I get back to that state where my partner, just can't wait to jump my bones and we have this amazing connection and things are great? You can't always, but I think a good way to look at this problem and to approach this issue is to remember what drew you to your partner in the first place. And for God's sake, have more fun. Retroactive jealousy can do so much damage to relationships, and you have endless heavy discussions, and the mood can be really heavy and very, very sour. I remember this well. I was there many years ago. And so this is why my mantra for people trying to rebuild their relationship in the wake of retroactive jealousy are those two things. Number one, have fun. And number two, remember what drew you to each other in the first place. Because guess what? I would imagine that a lot of what drew you to your partner in the first place was fun. You probably thought they were fun. I'm sure they thought you were fun. You probably had more fun together, whatever that in particular means for you. Maybe you watched silly movies, or you teased each other a lot, or you went out and had really fun and interesting dates. Whatever the case may be, you probably know what I'm talking about here. There's nothing like falling in love in those early days. And I do believe that you can reclaim some of that energy with a bit of patience, with a bit of effort. So think of ways you can remind your partner of what drew you to each other in the first place. Make them feel celebrated. Make them feel appreciated. Make sure that they don't feel taken for granted like another piece of furniture. So many couples fall into these habits where we forget what drew us to each other because we've had each other in our lives for so long and we kind of take each other for granted. So don't fall into that trap. You also ask, does asking questions lead to a loss of attraction? Yes. Not in every case, but quite often. Retroactive jealousy, this cycle of asking our partner more questions about our past, this is frequently extremely unattractive behavior. Sometimes that can be reclaimed, sometimes it can't. A good way to think about this really, which was a real eye-opener for me back in the day, is I really tried to practice empathy. I remember really thinking deeply, if I had a partner who was struggling with retroactive jealousy, pestering me with all these questions about my past, and evidently feeling somewhat threatened and insecure about my past, how would that really make me feel? Is that super sexy, confident behavior that I'm going to be attracted to? Absolutely not. Quite the opposite. So be conscious of this. Practicing empathy can be a great way to give yourself the motivation and inspiration to start overcoming retroactive jealousy. Put yourself in your partner's shoes and ask yourself, how would I feel if I had someone who was treating me the way I'm treating my partner? So just to sum everything up, make sure you don't do more damage. That's half the battle right there. Frequently, retroactive jealousy sufferers, they have these, as I call them, bumps in the road, where they're humming along great for several weeks or months or sometimes even years. Then they have another episode and they do a lot of needless damage to their relationships. Whereas if they'd practiced empathy, if they'd remember that attraction can be somewhat fragile and sometimes you can destroy attraction, and attraction is vital, in my view, for a happy long-term relationship, remembering all these things, keeping these things in mind, will hopefully help you overcome retroactive jealousy. Remembering to have fun, remembering to celebrate your partner, and remembering what drew you to each other in the first place. I think this goes a long way toward undoing some of the damage that retroactive jealousy can cause relationships. Thanks for your question, A. I appreciate it. And for everyone watching this, if you found this useful or interesting in some way, please take a moment to let me know by clicking the like button below and making sure you're subscribed to my channel. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you very soon.